Meteorologist Casey Cloud back here in the Weather Center on this Saturday evening now, as we have a severe thunderstorm warning in play right here for portions of Duval County and also St. Johns County, but mainly Duval here until about 6:45 as this storm has really exploded over the last few minutes. So we need folks inside and away from windows here. We're looking right there near, it looks like Westdale Drive, also Crestdale Street there, Eastdale Street, over toward King Arthur Avenue, Sprinkle Drive. That's where the worst of this is right now, and I suspect we have hail here that could be getting to about quarter size. Maybe right now it could just be a little bit less according to weather service, but it's not impossible. This could get to quarter size, as they're saying here in the chat, that storm has a strong core aloft here, and the hail signature is increased. And they're seeing winds per radar of 40 miles an hour near the surface here, but obviously could get a little bit stronger, and it doesn't even take 60 to get a situation where you have some trees being knocked down. We had one there in a more rural area there just over in the Union from Bradford earlier, but this is a very densely populated area. When people were outside, maybe caught off guard a little because the storms are pretty isolated here on this Saturday evening. I know we talked about it on Thursday, this threat, but unfortunately it's right over the metro here, folks, in Jacksonville. A severe thunderstorm warning in play, a very vigorous storm, and we need to go ahead and kind of track this. It's headed off toward the east, but with a little bit of a northerly component. The very worst of this here going to be getting there toward, it looks like I-295 in this moment. So I'm pretty concerned here because we have people outside trying to enjoy that weekend here, maybe getting caught off guard a little bit by a very vigorous storm complex here developing rapidly here over the metro. So let's back this up. You can see started to get a little bit of it there closer to where the St. Johns River became a little more organized, but now the warning is coming into play here over the last 5 to 6 minutes, and we were ready to go because we saw this storm really up and at the ante here, really getting that upscale growth to it. So again, that's what we have right now, a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Duval County here in the metro until 6:45. So I'll read the statement to you guys. Northern St. John, southeastern Duval, but really more north central Duval here as well. The storm was located over Arlington, moving east at 25 miles an hour. Jacksonville, UNF, Ponte Vedra Beach, Arlington, Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Bay Meadows, Mayport, Craig Field. So you got to be inside and away from windows. If you're out on the beach here, folks, Atlantic Beach, Jacksonville Beach especially, that area there up toward Mayport, you do not want to be out there outside right now at the coast. So keep that in mind. We have some really vigorous weather moving on in here, some potent weather, whatever adjective you wanted to use to describe it. As we look here in this type of situation, folks, you do not want to let your guard down. In fact, you want to take action here. Get inside. Get away from windows right now here, because we're not seeing a tornado signature or anything like that, but we're seeing a storm that could impact you in an adverse way. It could cause issues there in terms of being you being potentially hit by lightning there, being hit by quarter-size hail, something in that regard. So right there around, it looks like even Pine, or let's try this again here. Okay, Pine Summit Drive, I see that there. Yeah, you could have a tree limb fall on you because these winds are very vigorous here right now. This storm has really evolved quickly. We need you guys inside. This is headed right there toward Craig Municipal Airport, first off, pretty much that vicinity right there. So that's where that 177 is, the Craig Municipal Airport, and the other one here is Mayport Naval Air Facility. So again, we really need you guys to take this a little more seriously here because so many people are being impacted by this storm right now. Again, a dangerous situation as we're efforting the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. Again, we know so many people are outside, and we're talking about an area right now that encompasses over 500,000 folks here under this warning. 570,041 people under this severe thunderstorm warning. And I mean, obviously, we were watching really close to home earlier with that other warning, but a bigger population density being impacted by this warning. The other warning here, we were talking about a number there of about, maybe as we look back at the initial one, 19,248 with 8 schools and 2 hospitals in there. But this warning has, at least according to Weather Service, it has 87 schools and 14 hospitals in here. So, again, a very highly populated area under a hazard here of some severe weather. So you need to be inside and away from windows. It's something I know we'll do more in the summertime, but this is a little bit nastier than the summertime storm here. So again, in Duval County, a really nasty storm. This is right there, right over, it looks like a 295. So let me see if I can get a camera from 295. It'll take me a second, but I'm going to try to effort this for you guys here on the Florida 511 system. So we'll try to have that for you in the next minute or so to try to give you guys a visual on those conditions here. A look outside here of the very nasty weather. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning is in play until 6:45. We could have trees falling over the road here, not widespread, but even just a few falling here could cause injuries. So you really need to be taking heed of the situation here in the worst parts of Duval County. So again, a little bit of St. John's in here, but it's mainly about Duval right now, and this is more than just a downpour. This is severe weather here that we're tracking potentially right now here over Duval County. So I know it's really a slow go right now in some of these area roads. Again, we are seeing here, it's right over 295 there. 295, and it looks like Atlantic Boulevard, maybe just to the north even, a little bit more vigorous actually, as I'm looking at some of our different scans, maybe closer to 295 and Greenwood Avenue. So let's see what we can kind of find on our traffic system here real quick as we try to give you the best views here to give you guys the good looks at what could be happening here in those communities, in those vicinities here at this point. So let me see where we're at here, or trying to see how things kind of correlate here in this type of setup. It's just a one-man band, so I have to do this live on the fly here, so just bear with me here as we try to get you guys the best looks at things. So let's see here, this view or this view. I'm just going to try to pick between them here to decide which one to put up live for you guys. I think I'll go to this one initially. This is I-295 at Atlantic. So let's go over there. We'll take a look out there right now to see what's happening. It may not be the very worst of the storm right here, but this is a look. You can see already it looks like some stuff got blown around out there over the last few moments. So let's go ahead and kind of see what's happening with this. I'll put my pointer on the screen. Looks like something got blown there around there on this side. So there's one little area. You see some more stuff. As it looks like it's freezing up now. There must be some issue with that camera, at least for the moment. Maybe some power issues or just some issues with the overall system. But again, that's just one look out there right now as we continue along here to give you guys the best looks at things on this Saturday evening. So again, I'm just trying to make sure you guys know exactly what is going on right now here to protect you, your friends, and your family. We just got an update from the Weather Service, so let's go ahead and see what they're telling us here. I'll go ahead and click on our box and see. So at 6:21, they're saying a severe thunderstorm is located over Craig Field or near UNF, moving northeast at about 25 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and now they are going to quarter-size hail, like what we assessed here on the Doppler view a moment ago. UNF, Ponte Vedra Beach, Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Mayport, Craig Field, San Pablo, Little Talbot Island, Fort Caroline. Need to be on that lowest floor in that interior room if you can in these areas. So again, I'm going to see some of this information behind the scenes here. I'm efforting the latest, so bear with me. I know we're just trying to make sure we know what's happening. Looking at UNF baseball, they're on the road this week. Let's see about UNF softball, though. See if they're being impacted, maybe some type of delay or something like that. Looks like they already got their game over with, so that's some good news at least in those regards. But again, let's just try to give you guys the latest here right now. Again, we have a dangerous situation in Duval County here. A severe thunderstorm warning is in play until about 6:45, so for another 20 minutes or so, we have some really nasty weather impacting parts of Jacksonville. And that's where we're on the air right now to give you guys the latest. I know for what it's worth in a national perspective, there's a tornado warning right now in the state of New York and in the state of Pennsylvania. Portions of Sullivan and Pike counties involved in that until 6:45. Some radar indicated rotation there, but our focus here is on this local threat, part of our 62 counties here. We have two of them, mainly just Duval, but a little bit of St. John's here under this warning until about 6:45. So again, that's where they're at here on the map. Duval and St. John's here in toward the first coast region. So let's go ahead and go back. You can see here on the Doppler, trying to look at velocity. Velocity, it might be getting distorted a little, but it doesn't look quite as impressive as it did a moment ago. It looks a little more elongated. It looked like right about that time of the warning being issued, and maybe the scan or two after, we're really seeing some upscale growth here. Things are looking pretty nasty, and I'll be interested to hear if we have any damage reports here in the Jacksonville vicinity there, closer to the center of town. I don't want to say right in downtown because that can be a little bit spread out here at points, and then it could be, but right in the center maybe of downtown, maybe not, but just here closer toward U.S. Highway 90 alternate or State Highway 10 maybe. We were starting to get some issues to arise, and you can see the latest scan still. It looks like it's headed more for Mayport there, the Mayport Naval Air Station. But even Atlantic Beach and Jax Beach, you do not want to be outside right now. You could have lightning, even Ponte Vedra for that matter, Ponte Vedra Beach, but since you're under that warning. But Jax Beach, Atlantic Beach, a little bit closer, so a little higher threat. But we saw earlier we had a rogue strike here in Bradford County that was way away from everything. So that's why it's always important to remember whenever thunder roars, you want to go indoors here. We don't want anything bad to happen in this very low severe weather risk Saturday evening here. I mean, we've only had just the second warning here, folks, and chances are not all that high. I mean, our logo's blue here because it's a very isolated risk. We did express that here back on your Thursday night, early Friday update. It's going to be isolated. We thought we might get something more towards southeast toward there to the coast, but that didn't materialize. That bigger threat's been more up the coast there, the Atlantic seaboard. But we've had now our second warning of the day being issued. That's in this yellow box there for parts of Duval and parts of St. John's until about 6:45. So again, looking back at our hail tracker, you saw how it was picking up a little bit better right near the center of town. But now it's a little bit less in terms of that overall hail potential, which is some good news. But still could have a little bit of issue here toward Mayport. A little less population density as we get further on out here, but still don't want to mess around in these type of situations. So let's go ahead and go back to our other source right now as we continue to watch this, continue to give you the latest information here to protect you, protect your friends, and protect your family. We're just checking all of our different sources here in the Weather Center so you guys know exactly what is going on here. I'm just trying to look at all of our geography with this to get a good gauge on where we're at. So again, we're looking there closer toward Craig Municipal Airport, Atlantic Beach, and up toward Mayport with the biggest threat from this here at this present time. So again, we're going to go ahead and zoom back out here just a little bit. We're trying to just look at all of our different information and those details coming on in here. You can see here right now, I'm just trying to look. This is some of the areas here where we had the accident come on through earlier on in that timeline before this was warned. But you see here the accident pushing up really more toward the northeast, and hopefully be over the coastal waters here in short order before we would need any type of warning extension further on up in the northeast Duval. But again, we'll just continue to watch this here in the next few moments to see how it progresses on us here. We'll check our power outage numbers because unlike our rural areas earlier, you probably start to see at least some power outage impact from this in the grand scheme of things. So I know it's progressing here. The speed on this is northeast at 25. So again, that's what they're telling us here at the office in Jacksonville at the Weather Service. So again, it's trying to see exactly what is going on here with all of our different modes in the Weather Center. So again, we're going to take those power outage numbers here in just a second as I effort that latest information on in here. We're just trying to see exactly what type of numbers may be coming up here on the board as we're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So right now, so far, As of the initial update here, only 4 customers in the dark in Duval, which would be a good sign. But let me check the JEA map because it may have something a little more recent on there than. I know I'm looking at the aggregates, so that could be putting us a little behind. I'm going to see what that might be telling us here and might be hinting at here over the next few moments. So again, I know beachgoers, you're not going to be out in this though. A severe thunderstorm is headed in your direction if it's not already starting to get there. Now you see a lightning strike even right off the coast, which is obviously really problematic there, right off of the coast there, just northeast of Mayport. So, I mean, that's not what you want to see. That can be really, really bad news if that's clouded ground and somebody's out there. So let's just go ahead and see though what we might have in that JEA power outage map around here, because that's always valuable information here that you can get in these type of setups and these type of situations, because you know, it kind of gives us the real-time information here in terms of what type of outages could be occurring and the likes. That so far we're seeing now in Duval and sort of a little bit of Nassau here too, it looks like on this map, and there's some surrounding areas in general, but mainly Duval and where the outages are in Duval, it seems there's 35 customers out with 2 different active outages. So that's kind of the storyline right now. One of those outages is closer there, up there, just north of downtown a little bit, it would seem, closer toward Moncrief Park. So, and the Gulf Fair Boulevard area that was centered in the other power outage. As I look here on my map, is a little bit closer to where the storm went across there, closer to where St. Nicholas. So again, that's kind of some information that you guys want to know about here in the Weather Center for sure. I batten this up a little bit and try to get my bearings again. That one is a little bit on the edge. I mean, it could have impacted them with a burst of wind. We've seen it. We saw it kind of on the edge earlier in the Union-Bradford range, but really that was just south. The storm was of where that location is, but the other area went. The storm went right over that, right there near the San Marco area, and really this St. Nicholas really is where this was centered at, just toward the east of San Marco. So again, we're now being told here, we're being told here in the chat session by WJX and WFOX, a meteorologist here at Beatonbaugh, that a viewer reported hail there in Duval County, Townsend and Merrill, and it was about the size of a baby lima bean. So that's the description being given there. So that was there toward Townsend and Merrill there in Duval County. A viewer report to WJX and WFOX meteorologist here at Beatonbaugh. So that's interesting to hear. Baby lima beans, so really not obviously getting that severe range, but still that can be something that's a novelty at least. But again, it can be kind of nasty to be out in though. As we continue to watch here, definitely at least getting that hail ground truth report though, which is always interesting here in the Weather Enterprise. So again, we're looking here at about 6:33 right now. That's the time here on this Saturday. Another weekend, another threat of storms. Some of these a little bit further over to the east than what we've been seeing. Some of these other weekends, we've been seeing different types of threats here, but closer to where we're located within our 62 counties. In Bradford, we had a warning there, but we didn't end up getting any rain. We weren't under the warning officially where we're at, and didn't end up getting any rain. Really, I mean, maybe a sprinkle, but nothing on the rain gauge here to really amount to anything. That's kind of interesting here in the grand scheme of things. But you had the lighting around, that can always be an issue with the drought conditions and gusty winds at times too. But the latest update on this warning now at 6:33, a severe thunderstorm is located near Mayport, or 7 miles northeast of UNF. It's moving off toward the northeast at 20 miles an hour, so 60-mile-an-hour wind gusting now. More on the order of penny-sized hail would seem to be the expectations here. So again, I'm just trying to see what else is happening. Checking some more information here behind the scenes. Again, the storm, another one that would just really kind of evolve on us quickly here. And now hopefully it'll become a past event for us here shortly as it moves off the coast. And we may get some more development back behind, so we'll watch. But hopefully we won't. But it's not out of the question we get some more development later. So we'll be watching just in case here in the Weather Center, in case we have more warnings we need to post about or come on for, to give you guys the latest information. So, I know we have this threat here. We didn't have to turn the logo red for this, but we will have to watch here toward the middle of next week. Maybe some storms on Tuesday here We'll have to watch, but then on Wednesday it seems like the threat might be a little more organized here. Preliminarily, that could cause us to turn the logo red. I mean, we'll have to just watch. I mean, there's even threats here later in the war of the week as well. It looks like an active period there, depending on how things end up setting up with the convection. I mean, we'll have to just kind of watch there. Maybe a threat on Tuesday, maybe a threat on Wednesday there. It could be a little bit bigger, and on Thursday could be pretty nasty here before maybe it gets out of the way on Friday. So we'll have to continue to watch our model guidance. It looks like it's going to be a pretty active period. Hopefully get the active accent out of the way, and then things will calm down again. That can happen during these patterns. So again, just be prepared. We're going to end up having to turn that logo red here as we look ahead for more organized accent. This has been more isolated here in nature right now. I see in areas closer to Ward. Again, Mayport being impacted here. Still some higher populated areas with some nastier conditions. But so far, I haven't seen the power outage numbers catch up, which is some good news, obviously. I really haven't seen much in the way of power outages today at all. So I'll take that here. It doesn't mean something might not be getting missed. I know they are getting power outages on a national scale level. I should say. As we're looking there toward Pennsylvania, toward Maryland there, getting some customers in the dark up that way. But in the state of Florida right now, Duval County, only 4 customers in the dark on the aggregate map of 35 or so on the JA, so that'd be the more up-to-date number, but still not seeing anything overwhelming here at this point. So that's some good news here. We'll just have to continue to watch. 35 customers again in the dark. Duval County, looking back toward like Bradford County, 1, Alachua County, 1 customer, Union none, so that's good. And that's the overall aggregate map anyway. So power outage.us. But I'll go ahead and zoom back out a little bit here, trying to give you guys, let's just go ahead and give you guys the very latest here. We'll just see what's happening. You see some acts in their Keystone, nothing too impressive there, but we'll watch, see if anything intensifies on us here in the coming minutes and hours here in the Weather Center. So again, I'm trying to see what we have here for you guys. Let me see if there's any questions from any of the viewers here at home. Do we have any questions? I don't see anything here at this point, but again, just thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center on this Saturday evening. This one only goes for another 8 minutes officially, and at this point, I wouldn't think they would extend it, but you have to watch. You never know. But again, let's see what we have here. I'll go ahead and zoom back on in here just a little bit. I'll go ahead and zoom back on in. Not seeing anything here at the present time that is too impressive like what it was. So I expect they'll probably send out a statement here pretty soon, something on the order of saying this one is going to be expired on out here, here at 6:45. But again, we're watching it for the next little bit just in case. I know I started watching that tornado warning on the national level. Nothing really impressive necessarily on a larger scale, but there is a tornado warning up in toward New York State, which is kind of interesting, maybe to some of you guys out there. So let's go ahead and say where we're at with that. Let me go ahead and switch sources here again. You see Mayport. They could be getting some nastier weather there around Mayport. So be inside and away from windows still in Duval County. That was centered anyway to the north. But up here toward New York State, this is a tornado warning here west of the community of Monticello. Looking there right near that 2% tornado risk. And we have some rotation there west of the Sullivan County International Airport there over in areas further over in that county. So again, just going to continue to watch things there from the national level, but at the local level, we go here again, just trying to give you guys the very latest. We are now being told there was a gust to 41 miles an hour at 6:16 in Duval County. So nothing extraordinary, but still kind of interesting to take note of there. So there's something to kind of pass along to the viewers here at home in terms of that. So again, I see the sun shining where I'm at here in Bradford County. That could always fire some more accent up, but in general, it's a situation here that I'm just looking at some of my different information. Things really, we may not have to worry too much, but there is some instability still remaining here for sure. So you never know. We'll pay attention here just in case some other accent can get going, but we don't have a lot today. Few and things is a much lower dew point, so off toward the north and west now, like in Albany, no problem there, or even Tallahassee, but especially even up toward Quincy and Bainbridge, and you get the idea. Thomasville there, these are much lower dew point values here, indicative of much lower values of moisture in the atmosphere there at that lower level. So again, temperature-wise, ignore that 58 there in Camilla. That's having an issue, but all the other temperatures should be good here in terms of the latest numbers coming on in. But again, I'm just continuing to watch things here in the Weather Center. So again, we're sitting here at about 640. Let's see if there's anything supercell composite. There's a little bit, so right near the coast, it looks like in general, but again, nothing terribly impressive here, which is some good news here for everybody at home. So again, just continuing to give you guys the latest here. Bear with me. I'm going to check some more informational details here right now and see if there's anything new coming on out here on any of our sources. It's always important to try to make sure we look at all of our different tools here within the toolkit, really. We don't want to be caught off guard by something that we're not seeing here come up on one system. We're looking at another one to kind of get a second set of eyes, per se, on things. But again, looking at infrared satellite, you see the isolated accent really shows up very, very isolated there. So that's kind of interesting to see your visible satellite. You see it a little bit more there, but again, looking like going to have more clear accent come in as we look later on in toward the timeline there. So again, just checking some more information here at this point. We're sitting again here in the evening time frame now, and looking here at that forecast again for tomorrow, going to be clearing on out. A little bit warmer than we thought earlier on in the week, but then Monday, maybe a storm later on, we'll see, but chances aren't very high. And then on Tuesday, we start to see an increase in moisture. Wednesday, more so, and even Thursday, in and around maybe Friday, too. So it's going to get nastier later on in the week, even. Monday is probably the better day out of all five, but we'll have to just wait and see how things progress on us. So it's going to be something to watch. We'll have to turn that logo red. Haven't quite gotten there yet, but I know we already have. Just in terms of weather makers, have one out towards central Texas, or the severe thunderstorm watch out there towards San Angelo. That's west of Austin, west of Waco right now there. And then we'll be watching tomorrow for areas there in the South Texas around Corpus Christi and Brownsville. There's a severe weather threat for those folks down there. So always kind of interesting to keep in mind here in the grand scheme of things. There's a big picture, larger scale type of situations. So again, just looking at some of my extended forecast details here in the Weather Center. We'll just have to continue to watch all the different boundaries here to see how those evolve, the different areas here on the weather maps. So again, let's go ahead and see here the information they did go ahead and put out the LSR, the local storm report. The broadcast media relaying pea-sized hail there at 6:15 toward areas 2 miles northeast of Arlington in Duval County. So again, that's kind of the storyline there. That's not severe in the 40-mile-an-hour gust range there, 41. Not severe either. So that's good news that haven't had a severe report come in yet here out of this area. Definitely a little more potent here earlier on. Looking more potent in. Not really seeing much rotation, a little bit maybe, but weren't really concerned about that. Looking back at some of our rainfall over the last hour, I'll broaden the view, and then over the last 12 hours, unfortunately, Stark really missing out in both areas here, and could have used a rain in Stark, really. And now we'll have to wait. We'll get something later on next week, but got to be careful with all these type of fire threats here in the short term. But you can see here north of Lake Butler, over an inch and a half almost there. Toward Hampton, about a half an inch. The Keystone Airport there. Similar range, but again, Stark, I mean, just, you see, kind of not really getting anything here, unfortunately. In Gainesville, neither. So, Gainesville didn't get in that too much. There's still a little bit of a chance here in some of these spots. But, again, if some more action can fill in, but it seems like the chance isn't as high as it was earlier on. So, that yellow box should be about to go away here in just a moment here in the Weather Center. Which will be some good news for everybody. That severe thunderstorm warning is about to go away here for portions of Duval and St. Johns counties. Just continuing to look at everything here. Looks like a few spotted in that region in general. I don't know if they're really looking at anything, but again, I'm just trying to see everything in the grand scheme and relay everything back to you here at home. So, still got that marginal risk in play. Let's see if we have more development at 6:45. So yellow box just went away, just went off the map here, which is good news. Under that tornado warning nationally up in New York State also went away for the time being. If you guys are wondering about that on that national level, at a larger scale. But again, trying to see here right now. Anything that might be happening here. I don't see anything, so that's some good news here. I don't think we're going to get any type of extension on this warning, which is definitely some good news here, but we'll just have to continue to watch because you never know what can happen here. We could get a different warning, different area to start to kind of come together on us. So that's what we'll be doing here. We'll be monitoring the progress of things in the Weather Center. So I think that's going to do it for now for the time being. Meteorologist Casey Cloud. We're looking here in different areas, but nothing's too strong at this point. That area is right there near, again, areas just north of Mayport. I do notice that latest scan maybe sound a little bit stronger now, but it's almost off the coast. Let's just give you guys a little more awareness. I mean, it's almost off the coast, so let's just take the stronger storm at least, maybe worthy of a significant weather advisory or a really quick severe thunderstorm warning. We'll be headed toward Engle Avenue here, Bassett Road, Palmetto Avenue, looking also toward A1A there, getting more of that encompassed in this further to the north. So that's kind of interesting here as we watch the progress of that here. But again, you can kind of see moving on off here toward this coastal waters in short order as we just continue to watch this here. Again, if they get a new warning, it'll be really sort of fused because within 5 or 10 minutes, this should be out over the water here. And I don't think there's quite enough this severe on that. And you're looking down toward Ponte Vedra, we got a storm that looks like it might be trying to come together. Yeah, we do. And let's see if there's any upscale growth sign up there. And there's a lot. So we'll see if that becomes strong here briefly there between Jacksonville Beach, Ponte Vedra Beach. You can just be careful if you're out at the beach. All it would take is one lightning strike, one cloud to ground strike here to be injury causing. And that's not what you want to see. So you do not want to be involved in a situation like that. Lightning strike popping up south of Camp Blanding there. There south of Kingsley Lake. We'll watch to see anything that ramps up in that regard there. Let's check CDR there. A little bit of scale growth there too. So we'll watch to see if we get another warning on something. Nothing looks like it is really sticking out. But again, we'll watch this area. This looks like the strongest one. It did have the warning. Looks like it kind of strengthened just a little, but it's not necessarily showing severe characteristics as it gets out over the coastal waters here in the next few moments. So again, this near north of Mayport, if we look at some of our different scans here, again, you see some contamination in there sometimes. I wouldn't worry too much about that, but again, this storm looks like it's starting to strengthen a little near Ponte Vedra Beach, but again, that's right near the coast as well. So that's something we'll have to look at. But again, by the time we got a warning on that, even it's pretty much over the water. So that kind of makes things a little bit tricky here on why it's worthy of me giving you the heads up here now while we're on the air, because again, it might be something by the time you can get on. It's already over the water, no longer a threat. So again, that's the storm there. We'll watch the one that had the warning in the north. Some other stuff over the coastal water. This one back here, again, we do have enough instability and smooths of the parameters here to maybe get another warning or two, but nothing to be widespread. That's why the logo is blue here. Things are not overwhelming locally or nationally, but if something changes here in terms of having to come back on, of course we will. We're watching things, we're tracking things. You can always go to interactive radar there, cloudweather.com/radar there to get a look at things when we're not on the air. So keep that in mind. We also have the different pages. You have more options here in the overall scenario per se. To be able to watch our coverage. I mean, you're watching on one, but you can watch it on a different one here. We have Facebook, Casey Cloud Every X, Cloud Weather, Twitter at Cloud Casey. You have YouTube there at Cloud Weather. You have Twitch there at Cloud Weather also. So there's some different options here. It's just giving you some more ways to watch here per se in the Weather Center. So I just want to make sure you guys have those at your disposal to take advantage of. So again, YouTube, you can subscribe on that. As I mentioned earlier, I've alluded to it before. Hit that subscribe button. You can hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we come on with the live streams. That can be helpful at times. If you want to be able to catch all my live streams here and all these different updates we give you, regular ones, local ones, national ones. they're all on that page. But again, let's see, we do have a new tornado warning in the state of New York now, so let's go up to this real quick. This is in Sullivan and Delaware counties, so let's just try this. We don't get these up here very often, so while we're on, we'll just pass this information along to you guys. 649 there, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Hazel, or 10 miles northwest of the community of Liberty, moving north at 40 miles an hour. So Hazel, Roscoe, Corbett, and Downsville within the path of this storm here. This is central New York, so not New York City. It's a different part of the state here per se, not that far away, but you see Poughkeepsie there, and you see Bridgeport, Connecticut there on the map. But again, right now it's southeast of Binghamton, southwest of, by good ways, of Albany, New York, south of Oneida there. So again, just try to give you guys the latest there. You see severe thunderstorm watch. You see some storms moving toward New York City that have severe warnings on them. So we'll have to see if we get some type of threat for the downtown from this line. But at least the bigger rotating threat is going off at this point to the north. So that's the good news for you guys in New York City proper. Taking a lot of risk in play, but we'll see if things hold together there just long enough. Instability is lacking up there, so that could be a limiting factor. But again, just trying to give you guys that latest on that. That's to do it for now. Looking back at our storms here, that storm up upon Avidra has strengthened here a little bit more, it looks like. So let me make sure, again, that we don't get a warning. It's gotten a lot of lightning here really quickly, and that's something that we get concerned about. Again, these storms have really been going up quickly here today, and then they don't maybe stay around too long, but almost like a summertime pattern, kind of a hybrid summertime pattern. We don't like seeing this stuff in the summer. We do need the rain, but we don't like to have stuff develop so quickly on us like this. By the way, there's your hail report. If you're looking, that little star in the orange area, that's where that was earlier on, the lima bean sized hail per se. But again, looking here toward Ponte Vedra Beach, this is right at the coast, so yeah, they would issue a warning on this. It may not be quite severe in the traditional sense. I don't necessarily see the severe characteristics coming out of it, but I see concerning characteristics coming out of it here in terms of maybe having a lightning strike or something like that. Maybe strike somebody out there at the beach or on Ponte Vedra Beach. So again, just got to be aware of that. You do not want to be outside in these type of situations. Remember, whenever thunder roars, you want to go indoors here. Again, that's really come together quickly there in that area in the next few moments, right over that area there, right around Ponte Vedra Beach. That's what we always get concerned about. You see other areas here, but they're not too robust, but still lightning not out of the question. So if we have anything else to add, we'll come back here if we need to, or just post. But otherwise, we'll see here later on down the road. Hopefully not until Tuesday, but it could be before the normal update time if we get some stronger storms, and it could be with a red logo here as well, because we have to escalate that coverage, being more alert mode for that severe threat, because we could have a chance of strong to severe storms for a few days in a row, even across portions of our area coming up between Tuesday and Thursday. So just giving you guys that early heads up while you're watching on this Saturday. We're not doing a full update today or anything like that, but just so you know, Tuesday through Thursday could be a period where we have warnings at times here on and off. Hopefully it's more off than on, but we'll be paying attention, tracking it all for you here in the Weather Center. I know when we're not on there, you have Clarida.com, you have that radar tab, and you have, even on the homepage, you can look at some model information. You have the severe tab, you'll see the latest updates there, the storm prediction center outlooks. And then the tornado safety tips are on there as well to give you guys latest information here on some different things. And just, also those tips give you the information you need in terms of taking those tornado precautions. I'll throw them up here real quick as we wrap it up, because you may need them here in the middle of next week. It's too early to know for sure, but there's some of them in terms of that type of graphic that we have on display there. So just really quickly showing you guys out, but you can go back to the website and get them there. That's clarida.com/severe. So that'll do it for now. Have a good night. Stay safe out there.